A woman walks gracefully toward the yacht. She's 43 years old and girlishly slim and beautiful. She's in a good mood and hopes to have a great time. Her husband, her friend, accompany her, and the boat captain. As they walk towards the boat, the woman gives her husband a furtive look. He is nearly 10 years older, but still as handsome as when she first saw him. Actually, she was just a child then, and he was already a young man, and he had multitudes of admirers. But even then, she knew she would marry him. And now she admired her husband, his gait, the way his hair fell over his face, and his white-toothed smile. The man intercepts her gaze and smiles back, but the woman senses some tension in him. Frankly, all is not well in their marriage. The couple are trying to maintain a harmonious relationship, but conflicts erupt occasionally. Meanwhile, as the group arrives at the gangway, the woman suddenly catches her breath and becomes slightly dizzy. Her companions rush over to support her, but the lady is already smiling and asking them not to worry. Actually, she wants to hide her excitement. She's uncomfortable at the sight of water, though she tries her best not to show it. This fear has its reasons which she doesn't like to mention. Once, she even refused to shoot a scene in open water, and the director built an artificial pond especially for her. Yes, she's an actress. But now the lady wants to enjoy a lovely weekend on the boat and not think about anything. Finally, the yacht pulls away from the shore, revealing picturesque views of the bay while the sea breeze caresses the faces of the holidaymakers. The family friend accompanying them for the weekend is also an actor and is her film partner. The woman barely remembers how she got into the profession. She seems to have always been an actress. As a little girl, she found herself on a film set, and cinema has been her life ever since. By the age of 8, she earned $1,000 a week and fed her entire family, her parents and 2 sisters. She has had many roles in her life, and at 17 she starred in the film that made her famous. She was even nominated for an Oscar. While chatting with a colleague, the woman suddenly notices her husband's intense gaze on her and hurriedly steps aside. She doesn't want any suspicions or ambiguities. Their relationship has had a strange enough history as it is. 10 years ago, the couple divorced because she cheated on her husband. Then she married someone else, but the marriage didn't work out either. Then she remarried her first husband, but the jealousy conflicts didn't go away. The night on the boat was excellent, and nothing seemed to be going wrong. The boat turned too sharply once, and the woman had to grab hold of the railings. At the thought of being overboard, the woman felt cold. Her fear of the water started a long time ago, even before she was born. Her parents were about to set sail on a ship to a new place of residence. The day before, the mother had met a Chinese woman who looked at her palm and told her that her unborn child should be wary of water, and that water would bring bad luck. After the ominous warning, she even wanted to give up the trip. But her husband wouldn't hear of changing plans and not sailing to America. Eventually, they did make it to the United States, and when our actress was just a girl, she was 7 or 8 years old, a gypsy woman foretold her misfortune about water. Since then, it's no surprise that she's been panicking whenever she's near a body of water. But now she is surrounded not just by a body of water, but by a vast expanse of water. The shore has long been out of sight. The group on board had a lot to drink that evening. They were discussing the shooting and some incidents that united them. And then there was even a quarrel. The woman suspected that her husband had deliberately provoked the quarrel because he had been seen chatting with a friend earlier. Finally, everyone went to bed. But in the night, the woman gets up. She's stuffy and wants some air. Quietly, she goes up on deck. She wonders how her life will turn out. Can she save her marriage? Or will she have to divorce again for another decade? Hollywood thinks she's the queen of scandal, but she's not. Deep down, she wants peace. She's long tired of the fights and the paparazzi chasing after her. A sagging rope brings her out of her thoughts. No one is around, and if the rope is not corrected, something might happen to the yacht. She doesn't want to wake her husband and the others, so she cautiously reaches for the rope herself. A sudden surge of water jostles the boat, and the woman grabs hold of the handrail nervously. When the water calms down, she reaches for the rope again. Her fingers slip, and she struggles to reach it, but she still reaches and adjusts it. And the next moment she cries out in fright as shadows fall over her. A moment later, a powerful jolt throws her overboard. There's a splash, and the water closes in over her. The woman in question is Natalie Wood, an actress who was once an American superstar, but with Russian roots. Her parents emigrated from Russia before she was born. On November 29, 1981, her body was found in the water off the coast of California, a mile and a half from their family yacht. The official story is that it was an accident, but the actress's fans still don't believe it. Her body was found to have sustained bruises and abrasions shortly before her death. This has led to speculation that Natalie may have had an altercation with her husband on the eve of her death. Many believe her husband, Robert Wagner, pushed the actress off the boat. An exact picture of that evening has never been reconstructed due to conflicting accounts. But the yacht captain also claimed that Wagner pushed Natalie Wood into the water. But there wasn't enough evidence to bring a case against him, and the police believe that the alcohol Natalie took that evening could have caused the accident. In the end, her tragic death remains a mystery. Natalie Wood wasn't the only celebrity whose death sparked a wave of scandal. The next hero whose death was bizarre was River Phoenix. He rose to fame in the 1990s with his role in Stand By Me, based on the Stephen King novel. What a surprise for fans when they learned of the sudden death of the 23-year-old idol. They believed the tragedy to have been caused by an overdose of a mixture of heroin and cocaine, though they did not know whether he was a regular drug user. Opinions were divided. Some said he was a drug addict. Others said he hadn't touched psychotropic substances at all. According to Phoenix's girlfriend, a close friend gave him a drink 45 minutes before he died. The amount of drugs contained in the liquid was 8 times the legal limit. The next victim to die under unclear circumstances was Prince Nelson, one of the most famous musicians. He was found dead in a lift at his estate. According to investigators, he had taken large amounts of painkillers shortly before his death because he had been suffering from hip pain for many years. An investigation has been conducted, but no one has ever been charged. The case is considered a mystery, and the case has not been closed until now. There was a lot of buzz about the death of Marilyn Monroe. She was probably the most famous actress and a model and singer, a genuine pop culture icon. And her career was as successful as she was unhappy in her personal life. But it was during her most challenging period that her popularity peaked. Many believed it was her problems that led to her death at the age of 36. That fateful night, she retired early to her bedroom. After her body was discovered, drugs were found in her blood, indicating an overdose. However, many believed that Marilyn had been murdered, namely by injecting her with a lethal dose of drugs. An additional argument for murder was the disappearance of her diary on the same night. There were theories that President Kennedy and his brother, who allegedly had an intimate relationship with the actress, may have had something to do with the case. However, the circumstances were never fully elucidated. The next star, whose death is surrounded by a veil of mystery, is Tupac Shakur. He had a significant influence on the hip-hop style and became one of the most prominent selling artists in history. In all, he sold 75 million albums before he was gunned down in 1996. When Shakur was shot 4 times, he was only 25 years old. It was believed that another rapper, nicknamed B.I.G., did it. Allegedly, he was paid $1 million to kill Shakur, and it all came from a street gang standoff. However, B.I.G. himself died similarly shortly after Shakur's death, so the charges were dropped. No arrests followed, and there was no new information. And all that was left was Shakur's music, which fans still enjoy to this day. Last on our list is actress Brittany Murphy. She passed away suddenly at the age of 32. According to an initial medical statement, she died of natural causes. However, reports later surfaced that she was anemic, and prescribed medication may have led to pneumonia. It turned out that the actress had been taking large quantities of drugs, both prescribed and non-prescribed. She tried to cure herself, but the drugs were all illegal. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. The fact is that both Brittany and her husband suffered from lung problems, and the man died 5 months after the mysterious death of his wife. Was the cause purely medical, or did someone have it in for them? There were theories that the couple could have died because of a fungus that had infected the house. Brittany's mother thought this version was absurd, but later she suddenly changed her mind and said the fungus must have been the cause. There was also a version of heavy metal poisoning, considered slanderous. What do you think of these cases? Whose tragic deaths do you find most mysterious? Share your opinions in the comments section, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you'd like.